world. Today is a bonus episode because once upon a time, the head of the Aryan Brotherhood at FCI Beaumont was my cellie, was my cubemate. And I'm going to tell you about it today on a bonus episode of Pravity. Welcome, people. Hi. So, this is going to get us out of the narrative. We're not going to be chronologically in order. So, stay with me. You'll like the story, I promise. Because guess what? I've got stories. So, roughly 2.5, almost 3 years into my federal bid of 7 years, I had been transferred out of L2 and was finally a federal, of inmate in a federal facility. And I wasn't where I was supposed to be. I was supposed to go to a camp, specifically the camp at Pensacola, the one that is the source for Club Fed. It does not have a swimming pool, people, I promise you. But it did a long time ago. It's also about to be closed. So it is what it is. And that's where I was supposed to go. But my lawyer did not understand at the time that he had to have my state charges adjudicated before he could send me, before the marshals would send me to a camp. Because when you're at in federal prison, they determine your security classification based on whether this whole list of factors, this whole point system that they use. And I'm not going to go into the point system. I've already carried too long on the bullshit. So let's get to the meat of it. I was in a unit in Beaumont at a low. And the way the unit is set up, there's approximately 144 inmates in there. And there are 2 rows of cubes that face the walls, and they have like a window, and the bunk is on the ground. It's 2 bunks on the ground, not a bunk bed. Those are like the primo places that you want to go in. And then in the middle, there's 2 other rows that have 3 bunks, 1 bunk bed with a double bunk, and then a bunk on the floor. So there's 3 men in a cube, the same size as the one that has 2 men against the wall and has its own window. And the guards outsource all of the placements of who sleeps where, who goes where, to the inmates. You heard me fucking right. That is how that shit works. It's the shot callers of the gangs that say who sleeps where. And this is a tacit agreement between the shot callers, which, as an aside, I always thought was super funny that the head of the Aryan Brotherhood called himself a shot caller. Yeah, the same guy that would refer to Black people as basketball Americans would call himself a shot caller. Prison is not about ideology, people. It is about economics, and it's about control and dominance. So don't ever think that these people actually believe the shit that they say they believe. They only believe it when it's important socially, when they need to present this is who I am to someone in a fake way. So the counselors are the ones who are supposed to say who sleeps where, who goes where, but they don't. They get the shot callers of the gangs to agree to do it. In return, the gangs protect the child molesters, whom they call chomos. Not a nice name, but that's what they call them. Those people, in order to not get beaten up all the time, not get abused, not get hurt by the gang members, the solid wood, who want to, proclaim themselves as somehow above such things, they'll protect the child molesters in exchange for being able to decide who sleeps where. So, the head of the Aryan Brotherhood when I was at Beaumont was this dude we're going to call D. And they may have called him D at the time. Fuck that dude. I don't give a fuck. I'll tell you his whole name if you ask me. So, D was trying to stay in a dominant position, and he thought that in order to keep his unit calm, he needed to move the queer, me, into his unit to protect me. Now, at the time, people, I know what you see. I know you think, or at least I think I know what you think, that I'm this big, tough dude. But at the time, I wasn't. I didn't feel that way. I didn't look that way. I didn't present that way. I looked and presented as soft as I felt. And everyone saw it. Everyone knew It wasn't a secret. And by this point, I was open at the compound, which I didn't start that way, but I was open at that point. So D was like, "Hey, I'm gonna move you into my cell, and you keep it clean, and we'll be all right." I didn't know what the fuck like he expected me to do, keeping the shit clean. But here's what happened. Once he moved me into the cell, all his Aryan Brotherhood friends, who were like these super hot, tattooed, muscular men, kept coming on to me, kept coming to me for sex behind his back. I know, right? Like I'd be in the room just reading Game of Thrones, and I'd hear dunk 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 dunk, and it's somebody kicking my bed, and I was like laying on my stomach, and I turn around, and there would be some fucking racist with his head shaved, with tattoos all over himself, in like sublime physical shape, grabbing his dick, and I'm just like, huh? How do you make sense of this? I didn't try. I just went and ate the racist up and then came back and kept reading my book. I am an equal opportunity slut. I don't shame. Plus, I really thought it was fucking funny. So fucking funny that here it is, D trying to dominate me, and I am dominating the D. Right? That shit's fucking funny. So it lasted a long time. Like for at least for that period. I was only in Beaumont for like maybe 9 months. And I stayed in that cube for maybe 6. I was working at Unicor, and until D found out that I was HIV positive. And then he lost his fucking mind. I came home from work one day, and my mattress was rolled up, and all of my things were inside of it. Like somehow he'd gotten in my locker. And when I went to ask the guy that cleans the dorm, Bink, I was like, Bink, what the hell's going on? You know? He's like, oh, I'm moving into your cube. You're going to move up there with Candy. Candy was this really pretty white guy who was actually in there for possession of child pornography, but nobody knew that. And he was always flirting with me. So I was super happy to go live in his cube because he was pretty. But I didn't choose that. I had it chosen for me because that's what that means in federal prison. When your bunk is rolled up like that, it means get the fuck out of this cube. And when the guy who does it is the head of the Aryan Brotherhood, and as I've told you, a shot caller who has control over where you live, you don't really have a whole lot of choice unless you're going to fight. And I did not want to fight because less than 2 days before that, I'd gotten word from the case manager that my state charges had been cleared and the paperwork had come in, which meant I was out of there to the camp. I was not about to fight some racists so I could stay at Beaumont in the shoe rather than go to a camp where they don't have any doors, any locks, any walls. Motherfuckers, you can just walk up off the compound if you want to. Don't, because you won't be able to come back, but you could. So that is my bonus episode of Pravity for today, where D gets dominated by the D. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please remember, I'm still trying to recover. And if you can share, if you can help, please do it. Otherwise, here's half a heart for you.